prenatal development is refers to the process in which a baby develops from a single cell after conception into an embryo and later by fetus. The average length of time for prenatal development to complete is 38 weeks from the date of conception. Gestation is the development before birth and takes place in the three stages: germinal, embryonic, and fetal. The germinal stage. The germinal stage of pregnancy starts at the time of conception, when the sperm and the egg combine to form a zygote. It's 2 weeks after a conception. During this stage, the zygote is begin to divide in order to implant into the uterine wall. Once implantation is complete, the embryonic stage is begin. The embryonic stage. The embryonic stage lasts about 8 weeks. During the 8 weeks, the organ system will begin to form and develop, and the embryo will look like a tadpole. In the later half of this stage, tooth buds, arms, and legs can be seen. This is also the time that most women discover that they are pregnant, at around 4 weeks after conception. The fetal stage. During this stage, the fetus will continue to develop organs, including the brain and spinal cord, between weeks 9 and 12. The fetus will begin to make movements with their arms and legs. It's also during stage that sex organs will begin to differentiate. Before I end this video, I'll show you some examples of prenatal development and the 3 stages of gestation.
Infancy is from birth to 2 years of development where the extreme dependence on adults happen. Many psychological activities are just beginning, such as language, symbolic thought, sensory-motor coordination, and social learning. During the first year of a baby is what we call lap baby, wherein a baby is not yet able to walk, so it sits on parents' lap. And during the second year of life is what we call toddler, where the development of language is starting.
Early childhood is sometimes referred to as a preschool years. This is a period of the lifespan after infancy and before child begins formal schooling. When it comes to communication and speech development, they start to say first correct full sentence grammar to start with 3 words combination talks about what they are doing as they do it. Conversation skills improve as they respond to you more often. Their physical development can mostly dress, undress themselves with given enough time, can use toilet alone, can throw and kick a ball, improve running, avoids obstacle, jumps and hops, keen to climb. And their social emotional development are easy visible, wants to do when they want to, roller coaster of feelings, trying to work out who they are, may have tantrums, plays alongside other children but not together yet, more confident with strangers, and some understanding that others have feeling.
In middle and late childhood are ranged to age of 6 to 12 years old. But let's talk about what is middle and late childhood. In the middle childhood, this is the stage when a children experience various changes, such as physical, emotional, and social growth. In late childhood, the physical growth is slow. There is more interested in playing and different fields. At these 2 stages, they're expanding rules and environment. They show independence from their parents and family. But most of the time, these stages are troublesome, sloppy, and have a young age.
Adolescence,
13 to 18 years old. Begins with rapid physical changes, dramatic gains in height and weight, changes in body contour, and the development of sexual characteristics such as enlargement of the breast, development of pubic and facial hair. Lastly, the deepening of the voice. Physical development in adolescence include changes that occur through a process called puberty. According to James Marshall Space, there are 4 types of identity status. The first one is identity foreclosure, and the status for those who had made any commitment to an identity without having explored the options. The second one, moratorium, is a status that describes those who are exploring in an attempt to establish an identity but have yet to have made any commitment. The third one, identity achievement, refers to the status for those who, after exploration, had made a commitment. And the last, but not the least, identity diffusion. Status is that characterize those who have neither explored the options nor made a commitment to an identity.
Early adulthood starts at age 19 to 29 years old. It continues until the mid-30s. During early adulthood, people are at their physical peak. They are also usually in good health, and an individual is concerned with developing the ability to share intimacy, seeking to form relationships and find intimate love. Long-term relationships are formed and often marriage and children result. The young adult is also faced with career decisions. Choices concerning marriage and family are often made during this period. Work or career choices affects not only socioeconomic status but also friends, political values, residence location, childcare, job stress, and many other aspects of life.
Middle adulthood. Middle adulthood is the period of development that occurs between the ages of 30 to 60 years old. During this stage, physical changes start to occur that show that the body is aging. These include the skin starting to lose elasticity and gray hair occurring because of the loss of pigments. Middle adulthood is the golden age of adulthood, similar to late latency in childhood, although much longer, because it is an interval of relative stability characterized, for most, by physical health, emotional maturity, a clearly defined sense of self, competence and power in the work situation, and gratifying.
And let's talk about the late adulthood. We are considered to be in late adulthood from the time we reach our 60s until death. This is the longest developmental stage across the lifespan and growing age group. It is the final stage of adulthood and it begins at the age of 60. Intellectual deterioration occurs, such as memory loss, and physical changes such as deterioration in the gross and fine motor skills start to take place and health conditions are more likely. Now, let's talk about the examples of the developmental task of a late adulthood. They become stressful, they feel more guilt about not having the abilities to do what they once did, they feel less competent compared with others, and they lose a sense of identity as they become dependent on others. In addition, in this stage, they also accept one's life, they redirect energy toward new roles, they promote intellectual vigor, and they develop a point of view about them.
Understanding the theory of soundtrack about human development stages can offer a more in-depth insight into how the human body and mind changes over the years. This theory also provides insight into how parents, guardians, and teachers can communicate with young children in a way that they can truly learn. Take time to watch and analyze what the child is doing, and you recognize what is happening in their time frame, allowing you to get more knowledge